Hi, dear friends. Welcome back to Akshadari. I'm your Devraj. Today is 4th October. I hope you guys are doing great. Also learning great. Before going to start today's newspaper reading, I would request you guys to please subscribe the channel, like and comment. So at least subscribe to my channel. If you like the video, please share with your friends. It may be useful for somebody who are in uh, who are in the beginning of learning. So maybe they may utilize the opportunity providing from which we are providing. So anyway, let's start reading the today's newspaper, the Hindu, which is very important and which is very useful for the competitive exams. So let's start reading the newspaper. Canada not looking to escalate the situation. Will remove Indian forces from the Maldives. India's GDP to grow at 6.3% in financial year 24. India carries the weight of expectations. It needs to replicate the trend of host winning. Anu Paul will make it a golden day for India. A news click founder arrested under UAPA. Delhi police search moms and officers of journalists of the news portal and questioned them in an alleged terror case, siege phones, laptops. Modi says he turned down KCR's request to join NDA in 2020. At home IAS, we build officers. Mayor moves HC for node to Brisbane visit. High Court revokes stay order on outstaff assembly fellows. Judge cites SC order refusing to grant stay on the determination of services of the fellows. Says petitions may approach Apex Court for clarifications. DJBX consultant giving orders. DOV seeks probe. Declare November 19 a dry day for Chat Puja. Lovely to government. Green War Room starts 24/7 operations. BJP squares half against NC. Congress in first Cargill election since 2019. A lot is on the line for the political parties in the fray for the 2060 seats up for grabs in the Kargil Council. It is also set to reflect the mood of people towards the BJP-led central government's move to grant a union territory status to Ladakh in 2019. Heat on Yogi government as opposition allies push for Bihar like a caste survey exercise in UP. Remarks on Muslim girls by Kerala CPI leaders trigger protest. PM draws BJP campaign lines for assembly fools, one rally at a time. Himachal scheme to take care of orphans, destitute women. Rahul visit to Golden Temple signals an outreach to Sikhs. Ghost of UCC will reappear ahead of LS election, Palmer CM. Conspiracy case, custody of accused extended. Maleghon blast case, BJP MP record statement. Excise policy case, Delhi businessman YSRCP MP son turn approver. Court directs them to cooperate in the probe and put down all the information in their possession in a formal statement, which will be recorded in the days to come. Congress wants to steal Bastar steel plant, Modi. No interim relief for Naidu in skill development case. SESI will appear plea on October 9. Senior advocate Arish Salve argues that the case is related to policy decisions approved by the state cabinet and cannot be the subject of criminal proceedings. Give back access to road, Whisper Bharti VC asks Mamata. H3 rejects Lakshadweep MP Faisal's plea in murder case. Karnataka's caste census will also be released when the time is right. Madras HC dismisses PIL petition against a Kudankulam project. Catholic priest joins BJP. Bishop relieves imam duties. Here you guys can see the recruitment notifications from all the states. So if you guys are interested, you guys can apply for the respective posts. The triumph of Vachati over a hostile state. Let's read this editorial page written by the senior advocate. Let's make it visible for the Madras High Court's judgment on September 29, 2023, upholding the human rights of the people of Vachati in Tamil Nadu is remarkable. As a constitutional court, it unmasked and recognized that coordinated and large-scale repression by uniformed forces cannot take place without orders from or complicity at the top levels of the government. The court said in order to safeguard the actual smugglers and the big shots, the revenue of officers, of police officials, and also the past officials, with the help of the then government, played a big stage drama in which the innocent tribal women got affected. In the context of the large scale violence we see today, by law enforcement agents and the common man, the decision assumes importance. The repression of the anti-Starlight protest, the student protest in Jawaharlal Nehru University and elsewhere, the bulldozer Raj in Uttar Pradesh, Haryana the repression against tribals and the violence in Manipur are but a few instances. The villages of Vachati have created history, and the court verdict is testament to their resolve. It's an assertion of their dignity. This is among the rarest cases in the animals annals of legal history where all 215 accused, the survivors of the 269 accused, government and law enforcement personnel stand convicted and en masse of offences under the Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes Prevention of Atrocities Act 1890, 1980 and 89, and the Indian Penal Code. Rigorous imprisonment ranging from 1 to 10 years with fine has also been imposed. State orchestrated violence. A recollection of some of the events at Vachati, a remote village of the Adivasis in the Dharmapuri district. Tamil Nadu is necessary. On June 20, 1992, about 300 uniformed officials unleashed violence on the village on the pretext of unearthing smuggled sandalwood. 18 women, including a woman who was pregnant, were raped, and 90 women, 28 children, and 15 men were illegally confined in the Poise Rangers office. The custodians of law ordered Ur Gounder, the village chief, to strip the woman. The women were then asked to beat him with brooms. Several villages were sent to central Salem. The officials continued the plunder and violence, forcing the villagers to plead to the past. After visits by members of the Tamil Nadu Tribals Association and the All India Democratic Women's Association in July 1992, A. Nalla Sivan, the then Secretary CPI, wrote to the then Tamil Nadu Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha. K. Sengottayan, Minister for Post, proclaimed that the complaint was fabricated. The government machinery, down to the district collector, the revenue divisional officer, the superintendent of police, and the chief conservator of police failed to take action despite representations. Former IAS officer Mr. Bahamati, who was director of the National Commission of Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes, Kerala, Pondicherry, and Lakshadweep, was the only official who sent a report of her findings to the National Commission of SCRST. Yet no first information report was registered. A public interest litigation by Nalla Shivan was stoutly opposed by the state through its Advocate General, the highest law officer. In 1995, the High Court relied on Mr. Bomati's report to rebuff the state, directed the supply of basis needs, and asked the Central Bureau of Investigation to investigate. It has been a long wait for justice. Why so? The abjuration of the state to deny even mandatory interim relief to victimized scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes. The false cases that the police foisted on innocent villagers and the multitude of petitions by the accused to stall the trial with tacit support of the state were a few of manifold obstacles. Absence of command liability. However, the main reason for the delay is clear in the court's observation. It is not the situation that the private individual committed the offense and a single victim made complaint, and that evidence of the victim clearly showed that they were threatened by the uniformed force not to reveal the sexual assault committed by the uniformed force, and if it was, they would take away the life of the individual or their family members. Why was this state organized collective crime dealt with as any other individual crime? Is this not a monumental flaw? When crimes are committed by agents of the state, should not command responsibility and culpability be fixed on the heads of the departments and the ministers too? The focus of evidence, awareness, and a degree of proof and culpability would then shift. The trial was protracted and justice delayed because of the gross lacuna in the criminal justice system. Our criminal laws do not provide special procedures, evidentiary principles, and criminal liability for such organized crimes by state actors. The prosecution had to prove the guilt of each of those accused as if an individual offense had been committed. In line with Principle 24 of the UN Basic Principles on the use of force and firearms by law enforcement officials, law enforcement agencies must adopt measures to ensure that superior officers are held responsible if they know or should have known that officials under their command are resorting or have resorted to a violation of human rights, and they did not take measures to prevent or report such use. In numerous judgments, the Inter-American Court of Human Rights in South America has established that factors relevant to fix the responsibility of superiors are knowledge of risk by state officials and the duty to know of the existence of a real and immediate risk to life and or physical integrity, and the reasonable possibilities of preventing or avoiding that risk. Therefore, ignorance of actual occurrence cannot be claimed if superiors did not exercise adequate supervision and control. Article 28 of the Rome Statute, followed by the International Court of Justice, also follows the principle of command responsibility. In India, the prevention of communal and targeted violence, access to justice and reparations bill has lapsed. The new criminal law bills introduced by the central government as an exercise to decolonize old laws do not recognize organized violence by state agents as a separate class of crime and provide no speedy remedy. State violence is a colonial legacy and is anathema in a democratic republic. STs have been appraised historically, and the law treats sexual and targeted violence against them as aggravated atrocities fit for rigorous punishment. Command liability in the case of Vachati is writ large. The High Court has therefore ingeniously fastened the responsibility on the state to pay the enhanced compensation of 10 lakh and to ensure a job for each rape survivor. Stringent action has been directed against this the then district collector, superintendent of police, and the district police officer. Is there no accountability and culpability to be fixed on the political executive? The case has thrown up the urgent need to amend the criminal law to fix a command responsibility and consequent stringent penalty. Aggravated trauma. The atrocities happened 2 decades before Nirbhaya that shocked the nation's conscience. Criminal law amendments of 2013 and subsequent judicial decisions regarding non disclosure of the identity of rape survivors, gender sensitive investigation, and trial to prevent further victimization and facility of medical, legal, and psychological support were unavailable. For these 18 rape survivors, the full public disclosure of their identities, accompanied by harsh cross examinations on behalf of not one but several accused during their trial, amounted to aggravated trauma. But they overcame a hostile state and an archaic and unfriendly criminal justice system. Many are now educated and are full participants in the economic and political activities in the area. These women are the true heroes of Vachati. Yes. Let's go to the next article. Trouble with a Nobel for mRNA COVID vaccines. The 2023 Nobel Prize for Physiology or Medicine has been awarded to Katalin Kariko and Drew Weissman for developing the mRNA vaccine technology that became the foundation for history's fastest vaccine development program during the COVID-19 pandemic. The prizes acknowledge work that has created benefits for all mankind, but if we had to be stricter about holding scientific accomplishments up to this standard, the subset of mRNA vaccines used during the COVID 19 pandemic may not meet it. Yet, Dr. Kariko and Dr. Wiesmann and others deserve to win the prize for their scientific accomplishments. Instead, their triumph tells us something important about the world in which science happens and what for all mankind should really mean. Dr. Kariko and Dr. Wiesman began working together on the mRNA platform at the University of Pennsylvania, Sylvania in the late 1990s. The university licensed its patents to mRNA ribotherapeutics, which sub-licenses them to CellScript, which sub-licenses them to Moderna and BioNTech. BioNTech for $75 million each. Dr. Kariko joined BioNTech as senior vice president in 2013, and the company enlisted fee Pfizer to develop its mRNA vaccine for COVID 19 in 2020. At the expense of public funds, much of the knowledge that underpins most new drugs and vaccines is unearthed at the expense of governments and public funds. This part of drug development is more risky and protracted. When scientists identify potential biomolecular targets within the body on which a drug could act in order to manage a particular disease, followed by identifying suitable chemical candidates. The cost and time estimates of this phase are 1 billion to 2.5 billion dollar and several decades, respectively. Companies subsequently commoditize and commercialize these entities, raking in millions in profits, typically at the expense of the same people whose taxes funded the fundamental research. There is something to be said for this model of drug and vaccine development, particularly for the innovation it fosters and the eventual competition that lowers prices. But we cannot deny the double spend it imposes on consumers, including governments, and the profit-seeking attitude is it endangers among the companies developing and manufacturing the product. Once Moderna and Pfizer began producing their mRNA COVID-19 MASH vaccines, they were also made in North American and European countries deal to make sure they had more than enough for themselves before allowing manufacturers to export them to the rest of the world. Their use in the other countries, including India, was also complicated by protracted negotiations over pricing and liability. And COVAX, the program to ensure poor countries did not become the victims of their subpar purchasing power and had sufficient stocks of mRNA vaccines, fell far short of its targets. India, Russia, and China exported billions of doses of their vaccines, but their efforts were also beset by concerns that manufacturing capacity had been overestimated. In India's case, and over quality in Russia's and China's, there were reports of several countries in Africa having to throw away lakhs of vaccine doses because they had been exported too close to their expiry dates. The World Health Organization did urge these countries to use the expired doses, but such a task presumed an existing base of community and engagement and risk communication, which was absent in many of these countries. And Carbevax, a counterexample to the fact that Dr. Kariku followed is Carbovax. Researchers at the Baylor College of Medicine, Houston, and the Texas Children's Hospital Center for Vaccine Development developed this protein subunit vaccine and licensed it to India's Biological E for manufacturing. They did not patent it. In February 2022, Texas politician Lizzie Fletcher wrote a letter nominating the vaccines developer for a new Nobel Prize for fees for their work to develop and distribute a low-cost COVID-19 vaccine to people of the world without patent limitation. Kenya's ambassador to the United Nations, Martin Kimani, commended the developers for providing sorely needed ethical and scientific leadership. We cannot blame our scientists for trying to profit from their work. The mRNA vaccine story during the COVID 19 pandemic simply placed an extraordinary premium and altruism on their part, a result of administrators' botched decisions. The technology could have benefited everyone during the pandemic, but it did not. So history should remember what actually happened during the pandemic and what the 2023 medicine Nobel claims happened differently. This is about the Nobel Prize, which was recently announced for who had developed the vaccine for COVID. Let's go to the next article. Hallelujah for the cup. Shot in the arm. Success of COVID 19 mRNA vaccines picked the Nobel winners this year. Using AI for audit techniques, fixing the rot in the cooperative sector. Societies and the urban banks are controlled by politicians with no domain expertise. Suspended Lok Sabha MP count nearly doubles during NDA terms. Text and context. The increase in India's coal production into September. Indian economy's growth forecast for this financial year at 6.3%. Reservation for EWS in July judicial services, law colleges in Bihar. The chickens culled to contain bird flu in South Africa, 2.5 million. Dolphins found dead in Amazon due to temperature rise. The shutdown of the Afghan embassy. How has the Nagorno-Karabakh standoff ended? What is the history of the conflict over the region between Armenia and Azerbaijan? Why did hundreds of local Armenians flee the area? What has been Turkey's role in the region? Circular migration, looking at both sides of the debate. In India, internal migration, which is migration within a particular country or state, has almost always been circular. With the rapid industrialization, there has been a huge flow of migrants from rural areas to urban cities. No, Eva English, why it has been given in the mid of the news. What animals do? Animal Day, celebrated every year on October 4, is a call for action for animal rights. Equine and some animals found in India. India bloc takes exception to targeting of media outlets. Opposition parties condemn early morning searches on journalists linked to NewsClick. They urge the BJP government to focus attention on genuine issues plaguing the country and its people. Probe agencies are independent. I&B Minister on searches. NewsClick founder arrested under UAP. Modi says he rejected KCR's request in 2020. Media bodies slam NewsClick search, call it attempt to muzzle free media. SC query or a violation of privacy of an accused. Trinamool team dragged out of Krishi Bhavan. Minister refuses meeting. Army operation in Rajouri continues. Two Jawans injured. Farooq Abdullah calls for protest on October 10. With justice question back, BJP's Harmony platform faces press challenge. Demand for caste census set to fuel opposition. Poor should have first right to nation's resources. Modi. PM asks what will happen to religious minorities if rights are proportional to population share. Countering Congress, he questions whether party wants majority Hindus to usurp minority rights. EW's ruling may help case for breaching 50% quota ceiling. Demand for caste census set to fuel opposition campaign. Congress distances itself from Shingwi's exposed on caste-based survey. Heavy death reporting on in two Maharashtra hospitals. Opposition lashes out at the state government. Eknath Shinde promises retired inquiry. Says many of the dead were elderly heart patients, underweight infants, and accident victims. Trudeau says Canada not trying to escalate diplomatic crisis. Four earthquakes in Nepal caused tremors in North India. 1039 held in a fresh crackdown on a child marriage in Assam. We will remain deployed in eastern Ladakh until full disengagement. IFG. Toilet use declining in rural India since 2019 to 2019. WB paper. ICMR project to accelerate cancer screening measures treatment at district level. Enjoyment of divine bliss. US House to vote on leadership challenge to Speaker MC Kathy. Hunter Biden pleads not guilty to gun charges in Delaware court. Turkey detains nearly 1,000 following suicide bomb attack. Thai PM launches committee to amend Hamid draft constitution. After election, Muji repeats its promise of ousting Indian forces. Armenia's parliament votes to join ICC, straining ties with Ali Russia. Troy wins Nobel Prize in Physics for finding a way to see electrons. 14 years old opens fire in a Bangkok mall, leaves two dead. Pakistan government asks all illegal immigrants to leave by November 1st. Manufacturing PMI slips to 5-month low. Even as the new orders slowed in September, firms expressed the most optimism so far in 2023 and sharply raised output cost. S&P Global Market Intelligence Survey showed input cost inflation has slowed to the lowest in more than 3 years. NDMC increases iron ore prices by 50 per ton. World Bank keeps India at financial year 24 growth forecast at 6.3% on waning demand. Global slowdown its engineering exports. Airbnb helped and had 929 amen to India's GDP in 2022. Bharat bans DICV to expand outlets to 350. Outbound tourism to cross 15 billion in dollar in 2023. Arjun and Sunil clinch a bronze in men's canoe double 2000 meter. Indian men's kabaddi team proves too good for Bangladesh. Sindhu and Pranay progress to round of 16 in singles event. Lovlina punches her way to the final and the Olympics. Pearl and Anu turned back the clay clock to add more golden glow. The Ishwar's turn. Spinners help India enter the semi-finals. Preeti and Nayanda win bronze. World Cup hoppers the men in blue a shot at redemption on home soil. Hopefully, the word choke that shadows the India in global championships would be consigned to the sidelines. Conway will be crucial to Kiwis' fortunes in the subcontinent. England and New Zealand teams arrive in Ahmedabad for WC Open. The Hindu WC trivia quiz from Matumam. Rest of India lifts trophy as wickets fall like nine pins. How the only process our results philosophy pushed Hansi to the top. Logan Van Beek, the Dutchman who turned up for New Zealand, believes the super over heroic against the Windies in the qualifiers is just the beginning and is keen to give his best at the showpiece event. The South Africans are peaking at the right time. Chelsea are finally on target to down Pulang. Andretti Formula Racing gets FIA note to join Formula One. IPL experience could be handy in this World Cup. Van der Dessen. India's last warm-up match washed out without a ball being bowled. Vishnu pulls past Adil. Siddhartha overpowers Rishi. Opening better Pereira doubtful for Sri Lanka's first game against South Africa. Unnati Ayush Cruz in opening round. Your gateway from feast to prosperity. Ground survey. What is about exactly? As the ICC ODI World Cup is all set to be held in India from October 5 to November 19, and an in-depth look at the venues which will host the cricketing extravaganza. Today we feature in the Master Cricket Association Stadium in Gahunje, Pune. If someone is interested in maths, they should be solving problems anyway. Apurva Khare, recognized as one of India's leading young mathematicians, talks about his early influences, his collaborations with mathematics superstar Terence Tao, and his thoughts on why prizes matter to researchers. This is the last page, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed the newspaper reading. Please continue reading for 2 hours daily. It will make you really very better in communication, especially in English language. So, for more information related to education, healthcare, and personal use, kindly please subscribe the channel, like and comment. And I hope you guys follow the tips which I have given in the previous videos. See you in the upcoming videos, guys. Have a great day. Bye bye. Take care.